Open up any modern mapping software, spin the globe to the Indian subcontinent, and zoom in on the western coast. Right here, sitting exactly on the edge of Arabian Sea in Gujarat, you'll find the Somnath Temple. If you draw a straight line directly south from this exact coordinate, that trajectory will cross open water for nearly 10,000 kilometers. It won't hit a single island or landmass until it finally crashes into the ice shelves of Antarctica. Historical records indicate this structure was erected sometime around the 6th century, 1,000 years before Western explorers mapped the major oceans. Look closely at this artifact. Etched directly into the stone is a specific Sanskrit stanza. Translated, it states explicitly that, from this point, there is no hindrance, no piece of land on this path until the South Pole. Which leaves us with a mathematical paradox. How did a 6th century civilization perfectly record a 10,000-kilometer route to a pole they supposedly had no way to map? To even hypothesize the statement written on the Ban Stambh, the author couldn't just guess. They needed a cascading series of complex geographic frameworks. First, they had to possess absolute certainty that the Earth was a sphere, discarding any notion of a flat plane. Second, that sphere had to be mapped with a distinct equator, recognizing the southern hemisphere as a defined geometric space. Finally, they had to calculate the existence of a literal South Pole, acting as the exact rotational anchor at the bottom of that globe. Standard historical timelines often suggest that scholars of this era were working with highly localized, fragmented maps of the world. Yet the Ban Stambh requires a holistic, deeply accurate model of planetary physics to even function as a concept. It is the deliberate output of advanced spatial reasoning. So the investigation shifts from what they knew to how they actually calculated a 9,936-kilometer trajectory of open water. You cannot visually survey this path. It is physically impossible to stand on the shore and see past the curvature of the Earth. And sailing the entire straight line requires navigating the most brutal oceanic conditions on the planet. Did comprehensive world maps exist in ancient India that have simply degraded and been lost to time? Look at the complex grids etched into these surviving palm leaf manuscripts. Mapping this indirectly would demand a rigorous synthesis of advanced astronomy, spherical mathematics, and precise maritime sciences. It also leaves an architectural puzzle. Did they discover this exact ocean corridor first and build the temple to mark it? Or was the site chosen for religious reasons and the geographic alignment realized later? Regardless of the sequence, the existence of this pillar forces us to confront an astonishing mastery of observational science that defies our traditional historical models. We may never uncover the specific surveying apparatus or the exact mathematical formulas these scholars used, but the physical structure of the Somnath Temple remains right where they built it, gazing out over the water, and the geographical data etched into its stone remains 100% flawless today. The Ban Stambh functions as an architectural hard drive, quietly preserving an ancient geometric gateway to the South Pole. This single artifact challenges the strict limits we often place on early human civilization. It proves that Indian scholars were operating within a globally minded scientific framework centuries before ships from Europe began crossing the major oceans. Today, we simply tap a glass screen on our devices and instantly calculate distances across entire continents without a second thought. But the next time you open a digital map, remember the early scientists who perfectly reverse-engineered the dimensions of the globe, using nothing but the stars, their mastery of mathematics, and raw human intellect.